Yo, 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 what's goody is Bear in the building? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Kueen Talk. If you are new here, welcome. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like button, leave a comment, let us know what you think of this episode. Today's special guest is based out of Florida, Tampa. They did not get washed away. Please welcome, Malcolm. Thank you for joining me. That was
Hey,
such a
what's
bad
up?
joke because actually, people
No,
actually
you're
got like
good.
harmed during that fucking that was
No,
really bad. That was
I
really
live
bad.
in I live in a mobile home, so I'm really lucky.
Uh,
Nothing serious happened. Nothing.
were you not so like your area was like clear though? Like it
Like
was like
there was
all
there was
fake.
tons of flooding, but it was pretty good. Like nothing. I mean, the worst is
Man,
my neighbor's roof landed on my yard. That's it. Landed in my yard. That's it.
yeah, that's yeah. Hopefully they had insurance. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like living there, you have to have insurance. With I feel like
yeah.
every year Florida's on the news with the hurricane.
And you know
Every
what's
year, my
funny? We
sister.
we don't have insurance on our house, so we got really lucky. We
Wow,
don't
I'm
have any.
surprised it's not like you have to have insurance. Like that's a thing
Yeah, I
requirement.
don't I don't know how that works. I think as long as you pay your mortgage and your rent, I think you're fine.
Yeah, my sister, she lives in Floral City, and so like she just moved there. Probably like it's gonna be 2 years coming up, but my entire family were like texting her like, "Hey, are you good? Like, what's going on? Like, are you?" Because she's in the woods, like
Oh,
where she works. Yeah, she's literally in the woods. She sleeps in like a cot in the woods. Like she's out
what?
there. Right. I
Oh,
know.
hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Right. Right. She's like a camp counselor for like
Oh, for kids?
yeah,
Okay.
for kids that are that got in trouble, so their parents like send them to this camp and
Oh,
to like yeah get them to start
okay.
acting right, and
Yeah.
so it's
Just
like
just take them to Scared Straight. You remember that show, Scared Straight?
yes, yes I
Yeah.
do, yes I do. That's funny.
Yes.
But yeah, so we were just like checking up on her, making sure she was good. But I'm glad you and your family were okay. Have you
Yeah,
been in
we
Florida for a while, all your life?
all my life. All my life. Yeah, I've never left.
How has Florida been? Florida's like sunshine, like
It is.
besides
It's
the
great.
hurricane.
It's great. We have fake fall. So it's like, that fall that's not really fall. It's just like hurricane season, which I hate. I hate that. It's
It's,
so bad. I don't
it's like
particularly like Florida. I definitely want to get out of here.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
with everything that's going on, like this is Queen Talk. Like we talk about like queer people of color. Florida
Yes.
is definitely like
Yes.
as we've seen recently, it's not for the people of color and it ain't for the
For
queers.
queers. It's
Um,
not for the queers. Absolutely not. And I'm
how
bisexual, so like definitely.
how has that been for you, like living there? Like, what transitions have you seen the past few years
So
living in that experience?
I remember and I hate to say this, but during Trump's first election, I got taken off testosterone. And people are like, "Oh, well, it's the governor and stuff like that." Like, yeah, the governor can say whatever he wants, but it's the president that passes laws and Congress as well. And it's like taking gender affirming care from people is so harmful for adults and for the youth that really need it to survive. And being off of it for like 2 years was detrimental to my mental health. So that's the kind of stuff that Trump wants in America.
Right. That's literally what he just made a post about. Like, he literally made a post
Oh yeah, I
that
know he's trying
said,
to take away gender affirming care, which is
yeah,
absolutely detrimental to our youth. as a community, I think we should be in uproar about it.
And when it's gender affirming care, someone asks me this question because they think I'm an expert, right? Because I
Right.
do Queen Talk, and I'm just like, I'm not an expert. I'm
Mhm.
literally learning and growing, like we all
Yeah.
are. And so they're like, are they really giving things to kids? For like are they actually performing surgery on kids? And I was just like,
I
I
don't
think
think
that's like a
I think that's not I think people like to put words into people's mouths and make it seem like that's what they're saying, but that's not what they're saying. Like, it's like, okay, if, for example, if a 10-year-old kid comes up to me and tells me, oh my God, I want to get surgery, I wouldn't automatically go ahead and talk to a surgeon about it. You know, as a rational adult, I think we should put our children's feelings first, but also be rational in our decisions. We're the parent, not them. And we're not going to give them surgeries at a young age that's going to alter their bodies, even if they do want it. They can decide that when they're 18, 21, 26, 30 years old. I don't think that, I think we need to be there to support our children in their social transition. I don't think that we should put surgeries on them because that's not what they need. They don't need surgeries. And the
yeah.
Republicans and everybody saying that, oh, they want to mutilate our children. We're not, that's not even the case. That's not the case. And I
Yeah.
hate that propaganda.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be honest, I don't even think it's just the Republicans. Like, I think
And
after this
it's
election, we
everybody.
seen that it's not just Republicans. Like,
Yeah.
um, the way the vote went, there was some Democrats that voted in favor for him as well.
Yeah.
And I think it is just like the misunderstanding of it all. Cause like gender affirming care can be, hey,
Anything.
this kid wants to be called these pronouns, and that's that simple. Like I prefer these pronouns versus this, like, and it doesn't have to be like the big oh they're wanting surgery, like it there's and like after having
Right.
conversations, I'm interested to hear like your experience to get through your like the steps and stages that you personally had to take. What were those for you to be able to transition?
Well, I definitely didn't transition till later on in my life. So, like 19, I didn't start transitioning. So, I wasn't a minor when I started transitioning. And, like, I remember when I started transitioning, I went through Planned Parenthood. That was my first step, was going through Planned Parenthood. And actually, I know a lot of young people that go through Planned Parenthood. Um, but then the Planned Parenthood in my area got shut down, and I couldn't go through them anymore. So then I had to go find like an actual gender doctor and talk to a therapist and all that extra stuff that you have to do here in Florida, which I think is ridiculous because in my head, I had already been socially transitioning since I was at least 16. So, like, me having to go through therapy and having to talk to people, like, I understand, but I already know that I want to start transitioning and I want to start doing this. So I go through all the extra steps. Yeah, that was that's pretty how much I started transitioning. Um, was
How
through
long
Planned
did
Parenthood.
that take? That you went through Planned Parenthood, they shut down, but then so Planned
Yeah,
Parenthood you didn't
probably like a couple months, maybe like 8, 9 months I had to wait to start testosterone.
and that was because you needed to go to the therapist, you needed to go to the
Yeah,
doctor,
yeah.
and
Well,
that
actually,
was
it's
the
funny because I did start testosterone with Planned Parenthood, and then I had to stop because they shut down, and then I had to go through the therapist and all that to get on testosterone again. And yeah, it was I don't think a lot of people understand the first couple months on testosterone. It is absolutely crazy for like your mental state. Um, you change rapidly. Um, at least for me,
were you still in therapy as well?
yeah. So I'm actually still in therapy. Yeah.
What were
I think
those
that
changes that you weren't aware of that you can inform other viewers, like for your personal experience, like this is what you went through those first 2 months.
um, definitely a lot of sex changes. Like, personally, I know this doesn't happen for everyone, but I started getting really attracted to men. And I didn't think that was going to happen because I was always attracted to females. And also another thing is your hairline. You start losing that pretty early on. Um yeah, receding hairline is for real. Um that's pretty funny. But yeah,
I've had like guests in the past say like the mood changes were
that
they were
too.
trying to adjust to that. Are you still adjusting with those changes, or have you pretty much
I
got
think
that?
I think I pretty much settled in my moods. I'm not gonna lie, I still get them, but they're not as I don't they don't switch. They don't switch.
And would also like someone said like it made their body like really hot, the shot. Is that your
Ye-
experience?
yeah, so definitely maybe like a couple days after a shot. If I'm out in the sun too much and I don't know, like it's Florida, so the sun's always out. But for me, I get
Yeah, it
extremely
is.
hot. I get extremely hot. And then when I come inside, like in the cold air, I still feel hot. Like I can feel my body still heating up. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so hot. But yeah, that happens.
Okay.
That's very true.
Yeah. How long have you been on T?
7 years now.
7 years. Okay.
It'll be 8 years. It'll be 8 years next year. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And your family is very supportive, right? Like
Yeah, my family is awesome. They all support me. They're awesome. Like for real, for real. Like in Florida, you do not find that very often. A family that supports me till the end of the earth. They're so incredible. Like for real.
yeah. And how do they show their allyship to you?
Um, I guess just being there for me in the moments that I need them, not necessarily in what they do for me, but just being there for me. And when I'm weak and when I'm feeling down or, I feel less in my masculinity, they are always there to pick me up and make me feel who I am.
Yeah. And you're Hispanic.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm Cuban. But yeah, I'm Hispanic. Yeah, like
Yeah.
both
Well, I
both both
guess.
families. Yeah, both sides are Cuban. Mom and dad.
Okay. Okay. And
Uh,
so I feel like that's important to bring. I feel like a Hispanic household just being that accepting
yeah,
and
yeah,
open and just like letting you be vulnerable in that moment. That's dope.
right. Yeah, so like I remember it's funny because like I remember when I first came out to my mom and I was crying, 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 crying. And like I get it when she didn't really understand what I was trying to say, like, hey, I feel like this, I want to be a man and this is how I feel. And like all she could do was hug me, but it didn't register in her head until after I started transitioning. um I feel like she was in like denial sort of way, but then when she saw me after I started transitioning, she was like, okay, well, this is for real now. Which I think, it's funny. My brothers, I have brothers, and so they think the same way. They support me, they love me, and they are excited that I talked the talk and I did it. I think I wasn't just one of those people that talk and don't do stuff.
Have you like felt this way like all your life? I know like at 18, you said at 16 It's like
Yeah,
when you
so yeah, I started socially transitioning when I was 16, but I probably started feeling it like around 10, 11. I definitely knew I was like different. Once I started going through female puberty, it was pretty bad. Um, Definitely felt the shame in being a woman. Um, Not saying that being a woman is bad. I just personally felt like there was something making me feel this shame um,
mm,
of why, why did God make me this way? And yeah, definitely went to a lot of church as well, trying to figure out the answers. And so, obviously there was no answer. There was just me. At the end of the day,
yeah.
I had to deal with myself and who I was on the inside.
Yeah. So when you came out, did you just out as trans, or was there like a pre coming out? I know a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
people
So I definitely did
say,
the whole pre coming out, right? I was a lesbian maybe for like the first 2 years. So from like 16 to maybe 18 and a half, I was probably a masculine lesbian. Um, but then I was like, wait, no. Like even this feels wrong. Like I can't even call myself a fucking stud because I'm not a stud. I'm a man. Like it just it all hit me in like a weird moment too because like I was out with my girlfriends, we're chilling, they're straight, I used to have a crush on one of them uh and like it all hit me in one moment like this is not the environment that I want to be in. Like, not that I don't love hanging out with my girlfriends. Hell, I still love hanging out with my girlfriends.
yeah,
Yeah, but it's just it's so different now because now they see me as who I am and I can see myself for who I am.
how how was that transition with friends? How did that go? Because like
It's
you
like
grew up in Florida,
yeah,
so like,
it's like nothing. Like it's funny because I didn't grow up around like the typical you know millennials or Gen Zs or whatever you want to call them. So like they were all very accepting and we are all still friends. Um,
good. That's really
yeah,
good to
so
hear.
yeah,
I know. Um, I you never know when you like. I didn't know how my friends were gonna react when I came out. I was just
right.
like, because I played ball, and I just wasn't sure. But they they didn't change up on me, so that
Yeah,
was good.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they don't switch up on you, and I think that's where a true friend lies. Like you can see me for who I really am and still be my friend. Like that's awesome. Like
Yeah,
one in a millionth friend.
right. Oh, you mentioned earlier that like when you started on your tea journey that you felt like now like you became like bisexual. Um
Yeah.
and so what's that like now, like your dating life now? Um
So I had tried to date men. Um, but it's funny because like I've only tried like once, like really tried to date a guy once, and they didn't want to be with a trans guy. They were only into cis men, which I understood, but it kind of hurt my feelings. Because there is that part of me that wishes I was just a regular guy, like I'm proud to be transgender, like I'm proud to be who I am, and I can stand on that. But there's always that I wonder, that what if moment, like what would my life be like? Would I have not gone through so much? Um,
yeah. Have you thought about like any point of time of just like not releasing that information?
oh yeah,
That sounds wrong.
I
Yeah.
actually I'm pretty stealth at work. So nobody at work knows that I'm transgender.
Okay.
Well, I kind of hope they don't see this podcast, but yeah, uh, yeah,
Well, you say it all on your social media too, though,
um,
like
yeah. Well,
your
then none of them
TikTok or
follow
your
me on social media. Yeah, so I kind of keep my internet life away from work.
yeah.
So I don't think they'll ever find me.
Are you
That's why.
scared like what would happen if they did?
Yeah, just because
Yeah.
they're in their 30s, very old school. Like, I don't know. The way they talk is very like, I wouldn't approve of that kind of stuff. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
I just don't bring it up or talk about it. And I pass very well, so it's not even like I need to ever tell anybody.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like people were talking about that like people think transgender is just like this new thing
Yeah,
that's happening, but
it's
we've been
not.
it's not, and people just
No,
didn't talk about it as much and
absolutely.
I think that's just like with the queer umbrella in general. It's just like I feel like people are just like making it more awareness of it and just like starting to build community around it. So it's like starting to be heard of a lot more. So now it's like now that it's being heard, now it's like this thing like now they're making up letters in the alphabet and shit. It's like it's been
Right.
there. The T has
It's
always been there.
always been there, always been there. Like y'all remember Stonewall? I mean, I don't. I wasn't born when Stonewall happened, but it's just history that we know. Like trans women
Yeah.
literally made this community. They built this community. Um, so like
Yeah. Like
put some
yeah. I
respect on
don't
our
I
names.
Right. I don't remember Stonewall either, but just like instantly you think of Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia, and
Absolutely.
like
Queen
we
Marsha P.
just,
Johnson, bro.
yeah, it's but I what are you hoping for now that reality is where we're at, where Trump is president now, though? Like,
Yeah.
what what are you hopeful for?
Like in my personal life or just in general for the
In general, like
population. Yeah.
when he was president to in
Yeah.
2016, you said you lost your rights
Yeah.
to T.
Yeah,
So
so I would hope that that doesn't happen again, but I also hope that as a community, now that we know what he was like as president the first time, we can come together for real and support each other no matter what happens. These next 4 years are probably going to be really crazy for us, but I think if we hold each other up as a community and we fight the good fight, we will prevail, just like Marsha P. Johnson.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
and I think that's just what is definitely needed. Is just like, and that's hard to do.
it
Is
is. It is.
bring a community together.
Yeah. But I think it starts off with just one person. I think everybody in their own individual communities should just even
Hmm.
start their own little community, you know?
Right.
And so that way, people feel like, oh, change doesn't happen in a day. Of course it doesn't. It doesn't happen in a day. It takes years, months,
Hmm.
weeks. It can take a long, long time.
Yeah.
But I think that it
Speaking
can
of
be done.
community, speaking of community, what community do you have in Florida? Like, have you found a community that you can rely on there?
Not really. I mean, I feel like even like the LGBT community here is a little toxic. Um,
Mm,
just just because there's a lot of people that judge other people, like gay men judging gay women, um, trans men judging gay men, or gay men judging trans men. I've seen it happen here. It's awful. I don't know why that needs to happen, but I definitely feel like I find my community online because I have
Hmm.
so many queer people online that don't even live here, and they're so awesome. Like I feel like that's my community. I have some people here that I count on. They're my best friends, and I love them, my closest friends here, but they're also part of my community. Yeah, I think my online
Yeah, so your
community is the best.
your algorithm finally is in the right spot, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I find more internet friends.
Yeah, I know. That's um as you can see, I found you like the algorithm is finally for
Yeah,
me like
yeah. You found me on
in the
TikTok,
right,
so
yeah,
yes,
it's in the right lane for
absolutely.
me as well. And I'm thankful for that too. Like without that, like I it would be even harder to find. So um using those hashtags and
Yeah,
finding people, like it really has helped me in my journey for sure.
for real. Me too. Even TikTok's been a big help on that. I found so many trans people to communicate with. So
Yeah, it's different when you can find that representation, and I talk about that like damn near every
yeah,
episode because that's what Queen Talk is like. I'm trying to gain is just like people to find that representation. I want someone to watch this and look at you, Malcolm, and be like, okay, like I identify like that. Like I see myself in you, and this is the first time they may
yeah,
see a representation of somebody who's Cuban and their family is accepting and
right.
them in the community. So like when you do find that community of people that just uplift you, it is a game changer.
Yeah, and it's funny because I went to Cuba like 2 years ago, and they're all pretty accepting. Uh, they're awesome, So don't
That's
don't 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 let people tell you that they can't accept you 'cause they can.
yes. That's I'm so glad that you've had that experience um of just like a supporting family. I think going through the transition itself is already hard. So
Yeah.
to not have a support system would be even harder.
Oh
Um
yeah, absolutely.
and especially like where do you see yourself like do you see yourself like saying you said Florida's not going to be a forever. If you moved from Florida, where would you go?
I don't know. I kind of want to go. I mean, California is really expensive, but I think New Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Or yeah, I think New Mexico.
yeah, that's a I've never been. I've never been. I've actually
Me
passed through,
neither.
but
Oh, cool. I mean, I've only heard of like New Mexico through Breaking Bad. I love Breaking Bad.
same. I actually just watched a show that he was in. I still need to finish it though. It's a movie, not a show. The
Oh,
Breaking Bad, the guy, the old man that's the cook.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's in a new
Walter.
movie, and he's like a undercover agent in a new movie.
I
I'm
just
just
seen
like
that one
this.
show he did, where he's a judge, Your Honor.
Oh, yep, I watched that. I watched
That
that
was
too.
really good. That was really
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I love shit TV. I love
good.
shit
Yeah, I love
TV and just
movies and
TV and
shows and all that. Have you seen The Wild
uh,
Robot?
I haven't. I
Oh,
have
you
not.
should. You should. You
Is
should.
it on Netflix?
No, it's not on Netflix. I think it's
What's it
still in
on?
theaters. I think it's still in theaters.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I've seen that preview.
that's
Oh,
so good.
definitely. Yeah.
I think that's DreamWorks' best movie this year. I don't think they've done anything as close to that.
Yeah. You said you're a movie lover and
Oof.
a cinema crazy, basically.
Yes, I love cinema. Movies, anything. Like, I love the way the camera works in movies. I'm crazy. I'm crazy about that kind of stuff. Like,
And you're a writer, right? You're do
yeah,
you
yeah.
have you
So,
like wrote a script?
so I have written a script for my best friend. We did a horror movie last year. Came out on Halloween. It's on YouTube. You can watch it.
Okay, what's it
Um,
called? I'm gonna take
it's
note of that. So it's
it's
a
called Lunatic.
lunatic.
Yes,
Uh, I will make sure that's in the description below so people can check that out.
yes. It's by Latex Pain with three X's.
Latex painting with three X's. Got it. Okay,
Lit.
that's dope.
Yeah,
You how
I
long
was
have you been doing that?
so I've been writing for a really long time, probably since I was in middle school. Um, I've always loved the thought of wanting to do journalism because that's definitely something I want to do later on in my life if I can. But right now I'm focused more on personal projects. Like I want to do a documentary on my mom and I'm writing a fictional book. So that's really what I'm working on right now.
Oh my gosh, I want to do a documentary on my family as well, like a family
Oh, that's
tree
awesome.
documentary.
For
I
real.
have
Yeah,
been
that's
Yes. So my grandpa passed away in the summertime of this year, and like I realized they didn't know shit. Like they just kept into their own little bubble of like this is my close family. I do have extended family, but don't really talk to them much. So like when they're gone, I'm not gonna know any of the family line. And I just had um my grandpa's sister's husband just passed away recently too, and like at his funeral I had a cousin get up there who I didn't even know was my fucking cousin, and was like, yeah, I'm a Rice. And I was like, wait a second, like you're a Rice. I had no idea like you even fucking existed, and you live in the same town as me, and you have
yeah.
like six kids. So like them kids have kids. So it's like I've always
Whoa.
wanted to put together a documentary as well. Um and I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it
Yeah,
happen.
me, yeah.
Uh
Absolutely. I
I
think
think
you should.
it's
That'd be awesome. I think your first step should probably to take an ancestry.com or
I don't
23andMe
trust
type
it.
of things.
I
You
don't
don't trust
trust
those
it. I
things
don't
for
trust
real?
it.
I do.
I
I
just don't
do. I
know.
trust
I
them.
just
I mean, think about what you think they're
it's
gonna
like,
like.
what are you gonna do with my right? I don't know what the fuck they gonna do with it
Well,
after they take it.
well, I
Like
assume
what
they
is my
just
DNA
put it
sitting
in
in the lab?
something. What are they gonna? I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
If you think about that rationally, that's not a good idea. Stay.
When are you gonna do your documentary? Like, is it gonna be like based off like your mom's life? I know.
Yeah,
I
so
seen the.
I definitely want it to be kind of centered around her life, but also her problem with alcoholism, because I definitely want it to be kind of like one of those things where it informs people about alcoholism, like one of those don't drink and drive type of things, but don't drink and live, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you live a sober
Um,
lifestyle?
um, I mean, I don't drink, but I do smoke weed.
Mm,
So, yeah, but I definitely don't drink. Like, that's not my thing. I can't do it. Like, not even beer.
yeah,
I don't even like beer. Like,
yeah.
not for me.
I'm Yeah. I'm not a big drinker, but like there's sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I could have a drink, but I don't have a problem with it at all. Like
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, I
not
don't
one of
have a
those where it's
problem with
like
it
I don't
either.
I'm not one of
Like,
those that need to be like dry November, because
yeah,
sometimes it's naturally I just go dry without even realize I don't even be drinking like that. So
yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's really good.
yeah, it's good that you don't either. Like I feel like alcoholics are in my family as well. I have to
Yeah,
like so you got to be careful when you have addicts in your family,
Yeah,
because you can get down the
yeah.
slippery slope real quick, um,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
fall
you
into the
can't.
same habits.
Yeah, my brother was also an addict, so it gets bad.
Yeah, it's and then when like you grow up and that's all you're around and you see it's you get you're able to give yourself more of excuses as to why you are the way you are.
Yeah,
Um, Harder for you to get out of that hole.
yeah. I had to stop smoking anyway because I'm having surgery next year, so I have to stop smoking. So I think like
Oh
because of
yeah.
surgery, I'll just stop smoking. I'll just not pick it up again. I'll just stop.
So that's I didn't see. A guest told me that they had to stop the nicotine, the vaping for 30 days
Yeah.
before they could have their top surgery.
Yeah, so
That's with
I
marijuana too. You can't have
yeah,
no.
marijuana too. Yeah, so for me, I have to stop smoking because I know every surgeon is different. But my surgeon, he wants me to stop vaping 8 weeks before, 6 weeks after, and he wants me to stop weed 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after.
Mm. At least he
So
gave you
yeah,
only a 2 week window for that. Well,
yeah,
4 weeks.
yeah.
2 weeks before, 2 weeks after.
And I have to stop
Uh,
testosterone too for 2 weeks, but that's fine.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's not too bad.
Uh, so when do you plan on doing that? Like, is that actually it's 5 months away, right?
Yeah,
You want
because
to do
I'll
that?
stop. Yeah, I stopped paying it off in March, but uh, it's not scheduled till June. But I'll have it way before June. I'll probably get it done in like April or something. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's exciting.
yes, I know. I've been waiting like my whole life. I swear to God, it feels like my whole life, or half.
What right now? Like, what are ways that you affirm yourself? Like when it comes to boobs, like you binders and stuff like
I
that, or
tape.
is there another
I
tape?
use
Okay.
tape. Yeah, so trans tape has literally been a lifesaver. I usually tape when I feel like I want to. I don't always tape, but yeah, when I do, it's always tape. I
Uh,
did use binders, but those are just way too tight.
do you feel like the tape lasts even in a workout?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you can have it on.
Like
Like yeah, you can keep it on. It definitely lasts.
it doesn't sweat off. Like it doesn't sweat and then untape.
No, like I remember there's instances where I'm out there in the sun, like mowing. Oh, and then I get in and it's I'm sweating. I can see the sweat on the tape. It's really bad, but no, it's on there. The adhesive is really strong,
I think I'm gonna get some just to try it. Like
and
I
it's all
and
about like how you do it too, because tape is a little tricky at first, but you get the hang of it.
yeah,
It's just the master of flattening.
yeah. Because I would much rather wear that than a bra. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I hate it. I hate it.
yeah,
I
you
hate
can
it.
sweat through it. You
I'm
can
the one.
shower in it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to Google that and see. Do you have your favorite brand that you want to plug right now?
Yeah, trans tape.
Oh, that's literally what they call it. That's the brand name.
Yeah, yeah, trans tape.
Dope.
They're fire. I definitely recommend them to anybody that wants to use them. Um, they're fantastic.
Lit. Trying to say dot life needs to be a sponsor.
Yes, yes, they're awesome. They're a great company, and you can get them in different patterns and different colors. They even have like tattoo looking ones that are like all black and they look like tattoos. They're so fire.
That's lit. That's lit.
Yeah.
How do you feel like um but now do you are you comfortable with just like going shirtless right now or do you
So
you're
not
waiting
so it's
for next
weird.
year?
I am comfortable being shirtless right now, but not around people.
Hmm.
So like
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at right now. After surgery, I have no idea how I'm gonna feel. I'm gonna wanna
Yeah,
probably wanna be shirtless, but I'm gonna probably feel like, oh my God, can I? And I'm gonna be like, well, yeah, actually, I can, but
right.
I don't know how my mental state is gonna handle that. Like being looked
Yeah,
at by everyone is my big thing, but I can't let that stop me. I've
for
already
sure.
decided that I'm gonna do it, so I kind of have to let my mind reset,
Yeah.
like
And what
adjust
other,
to my new reality.
for sure. And I'm sure it's going to be great for you. Like, the
Yeah.
reassurance that you've been looking for, and just like I'm sure like it's gonna be after you're out of all the pain and stuff, you're gonna be like, man, why did I do this? During that, has anyone told you like that process? Have you done your research of just like what that's gonna look like, your
Yeah,
downtime
so
afterwards?
a lot of people have tried to like, put self-doubt in me and
Mm.
like, oh, like how's that gonna feel? Like, well, I remember one time my dad asked me, he was like, well, I support you and I love you, but like what if, how do you know how that's gonna affect your female hormones? Like how are you gonna handle that, like not having boobs? And I'm like, well, I can't really tell you that because it hasn't happened yet, but I know that this is the most important thing that I can do for myself. How can I not? I feel like I told him I think my exact words will cross that bridge when we get to it because I just know that I've wanted it all my life. How can I deprive myself of that? Something I've always wanted. Like,
Yeah, it's no, you
yes.
know that you don't want the boot. Like
Yeah,
that's
right,
that's already
exactly.
done.
That
Like,
too. That too. Like, I know I don't want the boobs. So me not having them will be a lot better for everyone. Like my cousins even make fun of me because they're like, "Oh well, take your boobs off and give them to me because I want more. I want bigger tits," and I'm like, I wish I could. I wish I could do that for you. you know.
right, right. Take these
Um.
hoes.
Yes, take them, bro. Um. But just being able to feel more masculine is definitely something I want. Like I already have chest hair. It's a crime that I can't show it off. It's a legit crime. Like I am a bear.
Yeah, you just gotta wear like the tank tops right now. That's
Yeah, I
super
gotta
low
wear
cut.
the tank tops and the muscle shirts and just conform with that. But that's why tape is so important because tape lets you do all that.
Yeah,
And I get the kind that looks like my skin color, so it's awesome.
that's cool that they have those, and the ones that have tattoos. I think that's super dope.
That's
That they
awesome.
have
Yeah,
different.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You should definitely like look at their page whenever you have the chance and browse because they also do like tape for packing and stuff like that, and for guys that want to pack. I don't pack. I don't really do that, but whatever.
Oh, okay. Everyone's different.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
exactly. Everyone's different.
Have
Everyone's
you
different.
tried it?
Absolutely.
Have you tried it? And it was like, yeah, this isn't for me, or you
I've
just like,
never
yeah, I
tried
never
it
desired.
actually. I've never tried it, but it's just not like a desire for me. Like I'm okay with my bottom area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I don't have a problem with it.
yeah, that's why I like to have these two, just because I feel like not one story fits all. Everybody's experience is different and
Yeah,
how they navigate. So I
their own
think that's
transition.
yeah.
Like I know there's a trans guy I know very closely. He wants to get bottom surgery. I don't want to get bottom surgery, but in order to get bottom surgery, you have to have a hysterectomy. And I want a hysterectomy just to get the parts out of there. I don't want hysterectomy to have bottom surgery. Um,
Are you able to get a hysterectomy?
so in Florida, it's a little weird. You can't unless you basically have cancer or something like that. Um,
Isn't that wild? Isn't that
yeah,
wild?
that's absolutely freaking crazy. Yeah, so Yeah, I remember even
Yeah,
at one point there was a law in Florida that said you couldn't get top surgery unless you had breast cancer or something like that. I don't even know how true that is. Probably back in like 2005 or something. But yeah, you can't get a hysterectomy unless you have like cancer or like a disease that will will a surgeon will operate on you for a hysterectomy. They don't consider that to be gender affirming care, which is really crazy because I think that's insane.
yeah.
Because I did, no,
Not to not.
if I ever choose to get off testosterone, I want to not get my period, but I will always get
Mhm.
my period because I have my uterus and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I've thought about it, but the doctor was like, "Yeah, you can't do that." He's like, "You have to have kids first." I was just like,
Yeah, that
"But I
as
don't
well.
want
That as well.
kids."
That's another
Because
thing. Yeah, they won't do it unless you. I'm like, dude, I swear, I want to walk into a medical office. I want to walk into a medical office, and they tell me that shit, and I'd be like, do I look like I want kids? Do I look like do I
right,
look like I want kids? I do not want kids. I will never biologically carry my own children. I do not want kids. I want to adopt kids. Yeah, sure, absolutely. I want to have my own family, but I'm not fucking carrying no child for no man. Sorry.
yeah, it's crazy that like they just don't allow women to do that, but then
Yeah,
they don't want abortion either. It's like, why, like,
it's like
allow
make up your mind.
hysterectomy to where,
Yeah,
yeah,
like make up your mind, people.
like
What do you
that
want?
doesn't make sense. That just never made sense to me as to why like I'm forced to keep this. I'm forced to have a period every month, and mine are. Yep, and that's because that's when I was having the conversation. I was like, dude, I could just get this shit out. And they're like, no, you need to have kids, and we don't do that unless to make sure, like, if you might regret it later on,
It's
and there's
in
no
yeah,
reverse.
that
Eh,
that's another
like,
thing. Like I
eh.
promise you I won't regret it. I promise you. I
And
will
and
sign
if
up.
I do, that's my decision.
And it's like,
Like,
bro, is there a paper I can sign and say like, hey, later on I
it's not
can't
your
sue
fault,
you guys for this? Like
right?
I will sign whatever you give me. Just give me the operation. Like I'm not gonna sue you guys later on. But I've also seen those cases where they will do the surgery on people and they'll willingly fuck up. Like purposely
Mm.
fuck up the surgery. And like people will get sepsis or some people will have life altering conditions because the surgeon fucked up on purpose. I've seen top surgeons r- fuck people's chest up on purpose just because they don't want them to basically live. It's so fucking crazy how any medical surgeon can botch someone's whole chest up on purpose just because you don't want them to live their life.
I feel
It's
like there needs to be reviews on that. Like, let's not use this
yeah.
surgeon anymore.
Yeah.
This
Oh
ain't
no,
the one to go to.
there's definitely a chain out there of trans men telling people, hey, do not go here, do not go here, do not go here. People need to
Good,
lose their
good.
medical licenses. Here, definitely in Florida too. There are a couple instances where a lot of people have told me, "Hey, don't go here, don't go here." Like they're not good. They will fuck you up. So,
Have you found a good one? Obviously, that you're going through. You've had good
oh
reviews on
yeah,
it.
yeah. I know a couple guys actually like personally that have gone through them, and they're a great facility. I've already went
Good,
to like my pre-op appointment or a pre-op appointment, and they're super nice and really trustworthy and all that stuff. So
good, good,
uh,
good, good. You want to feel safe doing that
yeah,
type of stuff
absolutely.
too.
Being vulnerable and all
You,
that stuff.
yeah, they're literally about to cut you open, so
Yeah, yeah,
definitely
exactly. Yeah,
want the right people behind you. Um, and Malcolm,
yeah.
is there something, Malcolm, is there something in your story that maybe I didn't touch on that you're like, man, I really wanted to share that with other viewers. Maybe they can relate or hear from my experience.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
All right. That always just means I did all right
yeah.
then. All
Okay.
right then, Malcolm. If there's nothing else that you wanted to share, I just have one last question. Is what would you like to leave the audience with today?
Friends, family, and love. Wanted.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Kueen Talk. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like button and a comment. Let me know if you guys want to be a guest. Please hit that link below. If you want to have a question for a guest, hit that link below. I'll also have Malcolm's um horror film down there so that he wrote, so you can click the link below and catch that as well. Malcolm, just thank you again for coming on and sharing your experiences and being vulnerable.
Yeah,
I always it's a want to create a safe space in here to be able to just like allow you to open up, and so hopefully wasn't too much for you today and you enjoyed it as well.
I did.
Good, 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 good. All right, as always, you guys remember family, friends, strangers, love. Be nice.